So with it being the end of the regular season, I want to get into my actual awards because, we've seen everything. There's only one game left in the NBA to be played, so let's get into my first award. So for the first award, we're going to be talking about Rookie of the Year, and I'm not going to lie to you, let's just get it over with. We all know that Victor Wembanyama is Rookie of the Year. The just absolute impact that Victor's had on both sides of the floor this year has been amazing, man, just to see out of a rookie, and I think he's easily had one of the best rookie years of all time. Victor putting up numbers of 21 points, 10 rebounds, and damn near 4 assists. It's just amazing. He shot efficient this year. He needs to work on his 3-ball, but other than that, he played great. And the reason I'm going to give it to him is I just think he outperformed Chet. Chet had him in the first half of the year, but Victor just took over these last few months. And yeah, you got to give it a big Vic. Now, the next award is, I think, another throwaway award. I don't really think there was too many people, really competing. For Sixth Man of the Year, I'm going to give it to Malik Monk. What Malik Monk did for the Sacramento team is just not talked about enough. This man put up 15 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He's putting up starter production for this team, and I just don't think that there's really anyone that comes to mind that was really competing for this award that were putting up numbers like Malik Monk. So now, let's get into Most Improved Player of the Year. So for Most Improved Player of the Year, it's going to be the person that everyone else has. It's going to be Tyrese. Tyrese Maxey's just had a great season. If you look at his counting stats, he was able to go up from 20 points last year to 26 this year, and he was able to go from 3 assists to 6 assists this year. Not to mention, he made his first All-Star appearance this year. He had all around great season, and he kind of had to take the team on his back because when Joel got hurt, he was the number one option. So Tyrese having the ability to make himself one of the top guards in the league, it's just not talked about enough. We got to give this man Tyrese his flowers. But side note, I just want to say, shout out Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson had a really good year, and I think he had a possibility of winning this award, but I'm going to give it to Tyrese. Let's go to the next award. So for the next award, we got Defensive Player of the Year, and the person that everyone else thinks should win Defensive Player of the Year is Rudy Gobert. I'm not picking Rudy Gobert. This is my list. So I'm going to go with Victor Wembanyama. Big Vic back in the building. So let's get into these numbers real quick. Victor's averaging 3.6 blocks per game, almost 4 blocks per game as a rookie, and he's averaging a steal. Now let's go look at Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is averaging 0.7 steals a game and 2.1 blocks a game. Really, bro? Don't make me mention totals, because we look at totals, Victor has 93 more blocks than Rudy Gobert this season, and he's doing this on less minutes. I believe he's doing it on 5 less minutes than him. That's insane. And the only reason that people want to put Rudy Gobert in this conversation is because what he's kind of done to that Minnesota team. But if you take Victor off of this Spurs team, their defensive rating significantly drops. And of course, it'll probably do the same for Minnesota, but I just think the impact that Victor has on this team is a lot more prominent than it is for that Minnesota team. And the stats also say Victor's doing better defensively. So I don't know why we're not going to mention Victor's name. This man's going to go and get 2 awards this year. He's going to get Rookie, and he's getting my D-Boy vote. So let's get into the next award. Now let's talk about Coach of the Year. To me, Coach of the Year, it's kind of easy. I got Mark Daigneault, and I have him here because what he was able to do with this young Thunder team is amazing. They're competing to possibly be the number 1 seed in the West, the best conference in the league. And he's doing this on a very, very young team. He has a bunch of rookies on his team or second-year players, just players that haven't really figured it out. And I think that the way he's able to perfectly use his rotations, and I think he gets the full potential out of his players because he puts them into the perfect position. Now let's talk about the award that we've all been waiting for. My 2023-2024 MVP is going to be Luka Doncic. With all the data and information I know now, I have to give it to Luka. Luka's averaging 33 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds, and he's almost averaging a triple-double. Not to mention, if we look at the players that he had on his team in comparison to the other two, it's significantly weaker, but Luka had an even worse team before the trade deadline. Not to mention, Luka's second best player, he missed 24 games this year, so Luka's still able to maintain the record that he had. And as I've mentioned earlier, the West was really, really competitive this year. Some people are still battling to see if they're going to be the number 1 seed in the West, so I'm going to give it to Luka. I personally think if you take Luka off of this team, it has much more of an effect than if you take any of the other MVP candidates off of their respective teams. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know your NBA awards, and NBA Sphinx out.